with an obligation to survive. Can continue.
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Chairman, thank you. I just wanted to address some of the concerns that have come through from opposition members. First of all, I would like to thank all of those that submitted. I would like to thank the Select Committee for all of the work that they have done, for some of the changes that they have made. And as I say now, just go through some of the things that have been addressed. One of them was around homeschooling, and it went right back to the first call that Ms Ardern made. And I just wanted to be quite clear. So what she said was that, she said, and in two parts, she kind of said that if you are enrolled for homeschooling and you've met that criteria, then you won't be having social obligations against you for ECE, and that's not quite correct. However, the second part of what you said is, which is that if you have enrolled for the equivalent of homeschooling, which is Te Kura, which is the curriculum for ECE, then you won't be having social obligations against you. So you can't just say, well, I'm going to homeschool my child when they turn 5, and as such, that makes me, I don't have to reach that social obligation. However, if you've enrolled with homeschooling and you're doing the curriculum, then you'll be fine. So that will address that for them. Look, there was a lot that was talked about as far as individuals and targeting it to individuals, and I know that the bill itself, as it is in legislation, is relatively broad, and the proof will be in the pudding, which will come about when it's put into place. But actually, the whole theory behind this, the whole motivation for it, is that we are looking at individuals and what they can do, and then getting them support to get them up to speed. And it certainly plays on what Ms Mathis was just talking about as far as people with disabilities, certainly what other members have raised throughout their calls as well. So I always think that when you look at it, we have 320,000 individuals that are receiving welfare. We can block them into courses, and as the investment approach does, you can look at it from a macro perspective and a micro perspective, but really it's once you get down to the individual. What that will do, and certainly through the work assessments that was raised by the previous member and through other assessments that we do, I'm just going to detour slightly now and just talk about those assessments, because for many of them they are a self-assessment. We have actually worked incredibly closely, intensively and over a long period of time with health and the disability sector itself. We have purposely gone out and held open forums. We have gone through paperwork. We haven't just given them the theory. We've literally sat down with them and talked about the wording that we use and how we actually make it accessible for people with literacy problems, with disabilities that mean that they're unable to have physical access, let alone those that might have other incapacities that mean that they're unable to understand the information that are in front of them. We've then really been keenly interested in how they can do those assessments that really address what they can do, and then if there are gaps that are meaning that means there are barriers there, that we can put more money in up front and get them that level of support. And the disability sector has said to me, we are optimistic but nervous, and I think that is entirely fair. And I can say it as I have 100 times, and I'll continue to say it, but I'm also equally aware that the proof will be when they get into place and with what we're doing. What I would say to members is, yes, we have been making changes to welfare over the last 4 years. At each point it has been that this will be the end of welfare as we know it, that people will be thrown out, that we will be treating people appallingly. The only times I hear the words bludgers and other horrible words are, quite frankly, from people whom are trying to scaremonger. It is never from us. And actually, for all the changes we have made, the world has not fallen apart. People have not been able to not get access to what they need and what they deserve and what their entitlements are. In fact, I get criticised for the number being too high and for me letting too many people be on welfare. Well, I just ask you to look at past performance, and I think it stacks up for itself, and so does New Zealand. And I hope you see these changes for what they are truly intended to be, which is getting the right support for the right individuals with the right assessments and making sure actually at the end of the day we'll be paying more. And you will see that through the budget process, just as you saw through the youth services, that actually this is about investing in people up front and earlier.
Mr. Chairman.
Carol Beaumont.
I rise to speak to the social security benefit categories and work focus.